And it's slow.
But let's just remember, too, the Iranians literally throw gay people off of buildings. They don't adhere to basic human rights.
Listen, here's the thing. Let's not do that, because if we start with that, we have been known in this country to tie gay folks to the car.
But where the Iranian regime is today in 2025 is nothing compared to the United States.
Hanging black people. So
it is not even the same. I couldn't step foot during this.
Wait. That's not what you mean to say. It is the same.
No, it's not. The year 2025 in the United States is nothing like if I step foot wearing this outfit in Toronto.
Killed for I'm sorry.
No, I can't have my hair showing. I can't wear a skirt. I can't have my arms out.
I'm telling you,
I literally said it was up to the Iranian people.
Yes, it is up to them. And that's why I am saying that it is the same. Murdering someone for their difference is not good, whoever does it. It's not good. So that's why I said you weren't saying what I heard was not what you meant.
I think it's very different to live in the United States in 2025 than it is to live in Iran.
Not if you're black.
Not for everybody.
Not if you're black.
Guys, don't go to Tehran.
Do not anyone at this table should go to Tehran.
Let me tell you about being in this country. This is the greatest country in the world. But, yeah, I know that. And we all know that. But every day, we are worried. Do we have to be worried about our kids? Are our kids going to get shot because they're running through somebody's neighborhood? They are not big deals, and I don't mean to say they're not big deals to you, because that's not what I meant.
And they are not doing well there either. They are not doing well in Iran. They are not educated. They cannot property. They cannot leave States.
I'm talking about here.
Nobody wants to diminish the very real problems we have in this country. That is no one's intent. But I think it's important we remember there are places much darker than this country and people who deserve rights.
Not everybody feels that way. Not everybody feels that way. Listen, I'm sorry, and it's slow.
But let's just remember, too, the Iranians.
What's going on, good people out there? Welcome back to my channel, My Life Perspective. And in today's video we're discussing Whoopi Goldberg and how the black experience is compared to people who are living in Iran right now. So I don't want to get too political and too crazy in this topic on this post, but I wanted to talk a little bit about Whoopi Goldberg and the black leftist ideology of the black experience in America today, and why a lot of their views are actually quite wrong in my honest opinion. So one of the main things that Whoopi Goldberg was talking about was how it's wrong for people to murder people based upon their differences, whether that be views or lifestyle, skin color, race, whatever the case may be, right? And as I listened to what she was saying, part of me wants to say I agree with that, but here's the thing that I want to tie and really take a point to her is we live in a country today where it seems to me that whenever you have the right and the left, in terms of their viewpoints when it comes to politics, you have plenty of people that are on the left that will attack, hurt, and murder and run over people, and yet I won't hear them speak out on anything in terms of what they do wrong, the people that are rioting, people that are looting, destroying people's property, hurting and killing other people, allowing illegal immigrants to this country to come in and to pretty much just run roughshod, right? And then on the other side, I hear the right calling out everything that's going on the left. But the right is always people who tend to be the more conservative or away from the left, people who tend to see things differently from the left, they tend to have a little bit, or they seem to be a little bit more upstanding in terms of morals and respect and common ground of just, you know, respecting people's boundaries and common interests. And I'm the type of person that you have whatever views, whatever, differences you have, as long as you're not interfering with me and my life, I'm cool. Take all that, go somewhere else. Don't harm anybody, but don't mess with anybody else's lifestyle. But it's funny to me how Whoopi Goldberg will talk about differences and people being murdered. Yet, I don't know. As I watched I watched some of their takes on The View. I don't watch The View, but I watch some people talk about The View, and it seems to me they tend to justify, the rioting and the looting in other parts of the country, especially in California. You got people who come out here, doing things to other people that aren't right, and yet they won't speak out on that. But yet you want to be the moral police when it comes to the differences of how black people are treated in America as compared to people in Iran. But last I checked, I'm going to say this as a caveat, I'm not in support of Iran, but I'm just saying this, right? People overseas in other countries have it a lot worse. And I'm glad that, a couple of those women up there on the platform of The View stood up and said what was right. Like people in other parts of the world have it a lot worse than African Americans here in this country. Black people are not oppressed in this country the way we used to be. Right? You're not being hung from trees. You're not being beaten with whips. You're not being fired unjustly. You got more rights than anything to be educated, to start businesses, to own land, own homes, own property, to be more and more successful every single day. But yet you come out here on these platforms talking about how in 2025, and I kid you not, she literally, towards the end of that clip, as I just showed you guys, said that black people in 2025 have it a lot worse than people in Iran. Like, you literally can get up, go to a grocery store, buy whatever food you want to eat. And if you're in a predominantly safe environment, you don't have to worry about someone running up on you. You have an entitlement to be whatever sexual preference you decide to be in this country. You can get up, go riot and loot, and you will literally have ICE and the military surrounding you, not beating you. But from the stories and the videos I've watched and seen, you got people who are overseas right now who tried to riot and literally got their heads beat in. But for some reason, you still got people out here on the woke left and the black community, especially people like Whoopi Goldberg, claiming that there's something wrong with the society, the system we live in, and how we're oppressed. Like, black people, I've said it in other videos, are not oppressed. Black people have more rights, more privilege. We have more opportunity than we've ever had before. I'm a black man saying that. I don't understand why people get out here on these platforms promoting this idea that you're oppressed. And part of it, part of me wants to say that this is a way for them to try to argue for power in this country. You're doing whatever you can to level the playing field, to try to get back at white people. And it's one of the most annoying things that I see all the time, is hearing these stories of how oppressed they are, how oppressed our people are. And black people are not oppressed, right? You can miss me with that. You can throw it away. I get sick and tired of seeing some of these clips, where people just have, they're talking about racism and, I'll intellectually destroy you, and, the white man is prejudiced and this and that, and you have all these different, everything is always about something or someone white, and they don't even have to be in the room. And I sit back and I'm like, as much as you say you hate whites, or you act in a way where you claim you hate white people, you have them on your mind 24/7. And black people will sit up and say, well, they think about us 24/7. And part of me wants to say, with as successful as I've seen some people out here, no one really cares about what black people are thinking until they start getting out here acting a fool, trying to run up on people's property, disrespecting them, and causing harm. So another point I want to point out, Whoopi Goldberg said black people have a lot to worry about in this country when you're running through someone else's neighborhood. Unless she's talking about the black community where someone's running through someone's neighborhood and we have more violent crime going on more than any other ethnic group, black people have more to worry about from other black people than anyone in this country. You experience more hate, more trauma, disrespect, and just complete utter chaos from other black people if you're black. Like, I've gone around other communities, and for the most part, if people really just don't mess with you like that, they don't really bother you. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, when I've gone around other white communities or Latino communities, the people seem to be quite friendly. For some reason, they're quite friendly. They're a little bit easier to get along with, and you don't have as much to worry about. But the minute you go around some of the black communities, you got to worry about someone trying to rob your home or in certain areas. And I'm not saying you don't have prosperous areas where there are predominantly black people, because you do. But even some of those folk know how to get away from the crazy klutz and the crazy, chaos within the community. So to me, I look at what she was saying and I'm like, black people have nothing to worry about unless they're around each other. And that's the scary, but most important, that's the sad part. You claim you're oppressed, you claim you have a lot going on, and you just can't stand the way our community is treated in America. Yet, somehow, you can come out here and say some of the most racist things towards white people, and it will get slapped or thrown under the rug. And I've seen people at my own jobs, saying some racist things about white folks. And I truly don't get that. I don't understand that. You treat people the way you want to be treated, not how you think that they should be treated based upon what history has done. We were never, born in those times. This generation, at least the last couple of generations, we're not born in times where you were being beaten and hung and brutally whipped. You know what I'm saying? You weren't in the, part of the, the Rosewood, burnings of a community and so on and so forth. So what are we out here to complain about? We have more opportunity than anything. When I hear these people pandering, obviously I can't expect anything less of them because they're on the left. And a lot of times when I look at and think about people on the left, they only use one side of the brain and not the other. More of the emotional and not the rational and logical part. So why would I expect them to think? But at the same time, I sit back on this platform and I'm like, you guys love to just complain. You love to just, cry about every single little thing that you think is wrong about America. But take your black asses to another part of the country where you will get shot, literally hung, you will get beaten, thrown into prison, just talking bad about their leaders. Go to Iran right now. If I challenge Whoopi Goldberg, if she was ever see this video, go to Iran or any other country in the world and say the things that you're saying right now to their leaders' faces or about their leaders, and let's see what happens. Like, you literally can't just go with any other place. Like, black people have so much privilege to just go out here and freely speak and express themselves in this wonderful, great, and amazing country of ours. Yet, black people have a completely different experience than white people in America. Last I checked, in 2025, America, the America that we're experiencing today is not too much far different from someone else that's white. So miss me with that crap. Stop complaining. Get out here. Go live your best life. Stop complaining and go do something with yourselves. Other than that, that's all for today's video. If you're new and you're just watching my content today, please feel free to leave a comment down below. And also like, share, and subscribe to my content. And as I always say, and I'll let this continue to say before, to be conscious is not to be woke. Stay conscious, my friends.